because I think this is maybe a later date than what you guys had, but this guy looked like the gentleman that you guys had, and he was talking about he was from Wisconsin, and he kind of looked like the guy you had, and I'm not for sure, but who is it? Hold on, gotta find it. I record all my trip sheets here and my taxes. Alright, that's too late. There it is. Okay.
Was yours one of them I don't have?
Hang on. This is the 13th, which would have been Saturday, going into Sunday. And I picked this gentleman up at 1:52 a.m., which would have been Sunday morning at Come and Go at Fort and Battlefield. And I took him. He said he wasn't for sure of the address, but he gave me 1105 West Volunteer Way. When I took him there, I dropped him off. That house was completely dark. He walked up, and I was doing my paperwork, and he kind of looked in the window and looked like this, but he never went in. And when I went to pull out, I saw him walk back out. He never went in. And like I said, he kind of looked like the gentleman that you guys picked up, but, you know, I didn't think anything about it.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking your timeline's different from what I have on here, because I think they were already gone.
And it was 11.
This was 6/13, which our days, we count our days as the day we start, which that would have been 6/13 would have been Saturday, and then so Saturday I started at 5 o'clock
in the morning,
in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
And then it goes into Sunday morning, which that would have been 1:52 a.m. on Sunday morning.
Okay.
So if you want, I don't know if they have, because I picked him right up front of that Come and Go. I don't know if you can look at there, but like I said, I only picked him up.
Well, just to be safe, I think you're right. I don't think it's going to be the right timeline, but just to be safe, so I don't have to bother you again at another time. If you would fill this out for me, put your birthday, your full name, your cell phone, home address, and all that.
All right.
And I'll move out of his way if you want to see here. And just give me as much detail as you can.
Oh, Lord, this is a big case.
Yeah, it is.
I think a lot of stuff's going to come out in the thing. And if you need me to, if you have a, I can send this to you via text if you need me to.
Yeah, that's I think maybe she didn't have you, or she.
I called when was it? Monday, as soon as I saw it on the news, I called and left a message for y'all.
Yeah, somebody told me that you did.
Okay. Because I wasn't for sure. Where is this at? So, I just say that I picked up, basically.
Did you get a call to go there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the world's worst speller here. So.
That's okay. Don't worry about that.
I spell volunteer.
VOLUNTER.
That's it. So I just put I was dispatched at Chickamauga, Fort Battlefield, picked up at 1:52 a.m. on 6/14/15. One male, dark hair, short, height approximately 5'11" to 6 foot. Took him to 1105 West Volunteer Way in Springfield. Drop off time 2:14 a.m. Anything else?
Look at it real quick. Yeah, can you put your birthday right here?
Oh.
Is there anything you can say about what he's wearing, or did he have any bags with him or anything?
I don't recall he had anything with him. I'm trying to think. You know, you pick up hundreds of people.
Oh yeah,
every week.
no, I understand.
I don't believe he had anything with him. He had a cell phone with him. He was consistently on his cell phone.
Yeah.
Because I almost thought, because I even came back and I almost thought he was going to see a hooker. Mm-hmm. Because that's normally what my Johns do. Mm-hmm. You know, when I pick up a guy, they're setting up to make sure that they know they're going to the right place. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just, you're either taking them one place or another. Right. And he was just constantly, because he kept saying, I'm not for sure of the address and stuff like that. But the one thing he kept saying, you know, we were talking about, because he had this accent, and I asked him where he was from, and he said he was from Wisconsin. And he had that accent. Mm-hmm. And that's what really tipped me off when I heard the news report. He said he was from Wisconsin. So, that's the only thing, you know.
Okay, it's 11:05. Okay.
Yeah, because he was not for sure of the address. Mm-hmm. Like I said, you know, I mean, I could describe that he was just on the phone on a consistent basis.
Yeah, and did you put that you said he's looking in the windows of the house he was going to?
Yeah, and he was looking in the windows of the house.
Yeah, if you could put that on.
I never saw him go in.
Okay.
Okay, I'll just describe when I dropped him off.
You guys are busy.
Yeah. Okay, so I said when I dropped mail off, he approached house, was looking in windows of house, but never went in while I was there. The house was completely dark. As I was turning around to leave the street, I saw a male walk off porch of house. So, station in cab. How do you spell accent? How do you spell accent?
ACCENT.
And Wisconsin.
WIS.
I told you I'm bad.
WIS.
WIS.
CON.
SIN. There we go. All right. So, conversation in cab. Male had strong accent and asked him. And I asked Male where he was from. He told me Wisconsin. Okay.
All right. Can you sign right here for me?
Yep.
Cab driver Sherri Messer, who testifies in court for the prosecution against Nicholas, and she is not describing a pickup on June 9th. She is describing an almost identical time frame, identical description, and everything to what happened on June 9th, but this is June 13th, a full almost week later, okay? Now, bodies have not been found yet. Facebook post has not been made yet. Okay. This is all going on. This June 13th is when she started her shift at 5 p.m. on June 13th. The call log that we're looking for would be dated June 13th, even though the pickup was on June 14th at 1:52 a.m. and she dropped him off at 11:05 Volunteer Way at 2:14 a.m. She says that she picked him up from the Come and Go, which is a gas station that is just down the road a little further from actual Days Inn, and that's on Fort and Battlefield. She says that he was standing outside and she picked him up and she took him to Volunteer Way. Now, she gives some more information here. So she does tell that he was fitting the description of the man that they caught. She saw the news. She called the next day. So this is Sunday. She actually called on Monday. Okay, so when all this is hitting the news and going through everything, she calls on Monday. The officer doesn't get back to her till after the body is found and everything like that. But the original call and this all happened prior to all of that. Okay, so she says that she picks up a man with dark, short hair. He is approximately 5'11" to 6 foot. He is consistently on his cell phone, so much so that she thought that he was going to see a hooker, because that is what her Johns do when they're on the phone. They don't know the address. This man did not know the exact address. He just knew where he was going. He indicated he didn't know what house he was going to, the whole thing. Okay. So she says that she hears him talking, and so she asked him where he was from, and he told her he's from Wisconsin. And then she went on to further allege that he had a very strong accent. Okay, she mentions it several times, and in fact, she even asks the officer Walker how to spell accent and Wisconsin. So this goes into her report. And one of the biggest things that I thought was interesting about this interaction is before they even know what's going on, she offers up, and this is a direct quote, "Oh Lord, this is a big case. I think a lot of stuff is going to come out in this." What stuff? And how would this cab driver, who innocuously just drive somebody to this house in this area, how does she know that some big stuff's coming out? How does she know that a lot of things are going to be brought to the light from this? Because that seems like a really odd thing for her to say, don't you think? Don't you think? I think so. Okay, so now we're going to go on to part 2 of this. This is now where the officer Walker has now contacted her. She left a message for Sherri, the cab driver, and Sherri, the cab driver, calls back. Let's give it a listen, shall we?
No, I'm awake. You're fine.
Well, I'm working on something, and I just kind of found out I've got something a little mixed up, and I don't know if anybody you work with told you, but you know, you and I had talked before, and you gave me a written statement, and we determined that the date that you gave me a statement for, that subject, the subjects or whatever, were already gone by that date. But I got a new, well, I've got so many pieces of paper. Okay, here it is. I have your log sheet for June 9th, and it shows that at 1:57 a.m. you went to Days Inn and picked up, and then you took him to Volunteer Way and arrived out there at 2:06. Do you remember that at all?
Very good possibility.
I mean, I don't want you to say you remembered if you don't, because I realize you pick up a lot of people.
Yeah. That was June 9th, you said?
Yeah.
You know, I very good possibility I could have picked him up and taken him out there, but I just don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember it. I mean, yeah. Okay. I can't tell you that I did, I did or didn't, I mean, my cab probably did, but, was it on my log sheets?
Yes, it's on your log sheet.
Was it the log sheet that I gave you?
No.
Oh.
I got it later because we were trying to fill in some holes because there was some holes, and I'm like,
wow.
And so I got with, the people there, and there were a couple little blanks, and I guess the log sheets weren't immediately available or they didn't immediately see them. I don't know. I can't really explain. I don't know. But at any rate, they gave them to me. I got them on around the 18th of June.
That's weird because I don't remember taking anybody out to volunteer way.
Now, the guy you told me about, you said you picked up at Come and Go way down at Fort and Battlefield.
Right.
And you said you dropped him off a Volunteer Way, and it was an odd address. I didn't even know that address even existed on Volunteer Way. And you said that he got out and was like looking in the windows because the house was dark or something.
Right, because he wasn't for sure what address he was going to. And he was consistently on his cell phone. And that's what really caught my attention with the guy.
Uh-huh.
And that guy specifically, that's why. And I know he had discussed something about him being from Wisconsin, but maybe, when you see so many different people in your cab, and and I really talk to my people in my cab,
right?
Because it just helps with my tips, and maybe I got some things confused, but I just don't remember going, because very rarely do I go out to Volunteer Way or out in that area,
right?
Because I don't remember going out to Volunteer Way for over this rain.
Yeah.
So, but I'd have to go look back over my records and stuff, look at my phone, and that would put my memory back into lapse and look at it, but it's on my phone. But yeah, that's really weird.
If you look at your timesheet, or you call them logs.
Yeah, my logs.
If you look at your log for that day and it refreshes your memory, can you call me back? I'm kind of on a time crunch, and I've been meaning to call you before now. I have just been so bombarded, and
I'm sure you have.
It's crazy, and I feel bad to say, I've been so crazy busy when I know you're crazy busy too.
No, you're fine.
But
yeah, that's weird because, because the 9th to the 13th, and he went from Days Inn to Volunteer Way?
Yes, ma'am. At 1:57 a.m. That's what your log says. Days Inn, and then the address on Volunteer Way.
Was it Blanchard address?
Yeah, it's the 2103 West Volunteer.
Because I remember taking somebody over into that area, but I didn't realize it was that far back.
And I remember on the sheet you gave me, it was one that said Fort and Battlefield or something to that effect. And then it was the address on Volunteer Way, but it wasn't even near the same block or like that. It was way off.
No, it was the Come and Go at Fort and Battlefield, and then it went to the beginning of Volunteer Way. That's where I had him. That's the log I had. And then, but you're saying I have a log of, and that was on the 9th, you said, June 9th.
Uh-huh. And it says cab number 12, Sherri M. That's you.
Mm-hmm. That's me.
That's you.
That's absolutely me.
Yeah. And so, anyway, like I said, I hate to wake you up like this. It's just really important, and we're trying to get
absolutely
ducks in a row. And if you could look at it and maybe give me a call back, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Walker talked to her about this June 13th incident. They have now been able to pull the call logs from other nights. And again, you have to remember that Miss Messer works from 5 p.m. to the next morning, whatever time she gets off in the morning, okay? And so this call log that they're referencing is the June 9th call log. But again, the call goes out at they pick him up at 1:57 a.m. from the Days Inn. And it's Nick, and she takes him to 2103 Volunteer Way. And she drops him off at about 2:06 a.m. Okay, so it's on her log sheet. It's not on someone else's log sheet. So she's like, I don't recall. I don't remember taking him there. I hardly ever go over there. I only remember the one time. Are you sure that this is my cab? And she's like, yep, it's your call log. She says, well, it's on my call log. It's not on somebody else's call log. So, because sometimes, my cab can be used by another person. So would it be on their call log? And the officer Walker verifies, no, this is your call log from June 9th going into the 10th. And you did pick this man up at the Days Inn. And you drove him to 2103 Volunteer Way. So then she goes on, the cab driver, Sherri, goes on to talk about how she takes pictures of her sheets every day. She doesn't know how this has happened. And she's thinking about it. And she recalls that maybe he was going over there to see his girlfriend. She had heard him on the phone again. She's still adamant about sticking to this phone story. Okay. And she wasn't sure what address he was going to again. And so she says, is that the Blanchard home? She asks him if that's the Blanchard home address. And she said, yes, ma'am. It's the 2103 Volunteer Way. And so they continue to talk about the difference between where she dropped off the person on the 13th and where she dropped off the person on the 9th. And they begin getting into this. And on the 13th, she's talking about how she dropped him at the actual top of Volunteer Way. And I'm going to grab you a visual so you can understand real quick. Video I did yesterday. Okay, so this is a video I did yesterday, which has me walking through the neighborhood on Google search, and I'm going to give you this video here. So it's going to give you an indication of where all of these things are for you, okay? So here we go. Let me play this for you now. What I'm going to do right now is give you a 360 view of this walk. So if we're starting here, we are looking directly at Dee Dee's house. And just so you kind of know, this blur here is because unless you are straight on with this house like this, and maybe you can kind of see it from side views, if you're over here, they're not letting you see anything anymore. I'm not going to zoom in. I just want you to see that's where I'm at, is that is Dee Dee's house right there, right here. This is Dee Dee's, and then this is the corner. So if I pull out this way, and I'm going to turn to the right, okay, so this is at the top up here is the actual main road, and where the blue truck is, I'm going to show you. I'm going to move over here so you guys can see. This is North Legacy Court, okay? So North Legacy Court, and you can see Dee Dee's house over there. Do you see it? So here we go. So now that's the first on the right. So then if you come down this way, this is going down Volunteer. Okay. And so this is the corner of Volunteer and Farm Road, I think 143. So where the stop sign is right here, is very important. And because when we talk about what the cab drivers had to say in the new FOIA things, this corner right here is going to become pretty important. Okay. So we'll come back to that, but I just want you guys to see it's not very far. It's like a hop, skip, and a jump, 2 houses down. Okay. So we're going to go over here to the stop sign. All right. And I'm taking a right onto, so stop sign is there. I'm taking a right, and this is Farm Road 143. So if you zoom once, let me zoom out a little bit more. Do you see this road right here? I've talked to the person whose ex-husband took her that night, and this is about where they live. This area right here. I'm just kind of showing you. That's how far she had to walk. It was not that far. So then I'm going to rotate back around so we can go back up from here. Okay, and I want you. Oh, Jesus, I hate this thing. My goodness. Okay, so here we go. We're coming down the road of Old Farm. Old Farm, Old Farm. Okay. You're going to take a left here onto Volunteer Way. You're going to come around this way. See, there's the blue truck again. And if you can see, this is Dee Dee's house over here in the corner. I believe this was Aaliyah's house, and I think this is the Tamra's house that are mentioned in the actual police reports. On to 143. That is where she is saying, right there at that stop sign, is where when you type in 1005 West Volunteer Way, that's where it drops you off, right there. So she says in this video that she dropped him right at the beginning of Volunteer Way. So if you're seeing it comes in right there, there's only 3 houses right there. There's 2 houses there, and there's 1 or 2 on that side too. So 3 to 4 houses. Okay. So this is the call number 1. Okay, so this is call number 1. So now we've got call number 2 coming up, and she's going to say something different. Now, at the end of this call, I want you guys to make sure you understand the officer is sending her actual call log from the night of June 9th and 10th. Okay? She sends it to her. She says, I'm going to send it to you right now. All right. And then let's hear this next call.
Sergeant Walker.
Okay, so guess what I did?
Uh-huh.
So sometimes I make a mistake and I go ahead and roll my paper up and I stick it in the envelope before I do my drop.
Uh-huh.
And then I take a picture just of the front of the envelope that says the amount and the drop. And that is one of the days that I only took the picture of the envelope, the front of the envelope.
Okay. So what's that mean?
So that means I can't see the whole sheet.
Oh, okay.
Can you take a picture of that and send it to me via text?
Sure. I can do that. I'll do that right now.
That would be awesome.
Okay.
That way I can look at it. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Bye-bye.
Bye.
To Officer Walker, and she is returning Officer Walker's call because since Officer Walker talked to her about this June 13th incident, they have now been able to pull the call logs from other nights. And again, you have to remember that Miss Messer works from 5 p.m. to the next morning, whatever time she gets off in the morning, okay? And so this call log that they're referencing is the June 9th call log. But again, the call goes out at they pick him up at 1:57 a.m. from the Days Inn. And it's Nick, and she takes him to 2103 Volunteer Way. And she drops him off at about 2:06 a.m. Okay, so it's on her log sheet. It's not on someone else's log sheet. So she's like, I don't recall. I don't remember taking him there. I hardly ever go over there. I only remember the one time. Are you sure that this is my cab? And she's like, yep, it's your call log. She says, well, it's on my call log. It's not on somebody else's call log. So, because sometimes, my cab can be used by another person. So would it be on their call log? And the officer Walker verifies, no, this is your call log from June 9th going into the 10th. And you did pick this man up at the Days Inn, and you drove him to 2103 Volunteer Way. So then she goes on, the cab driver, Sherri.
Sergeant Walker.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. I think I remember this guy. I picked him up. I took him over there, and if I remember correctly, this guy had like a dark backpack. And when I dropped him off, I think he went directly to the back of the house.
Okay.
Around to the right side, because that house had a long driveway, and I think he went to the right of the house, to the back of the house.
Okay.
And that's the last I saw of him.
Okay. Do you see things stand out about him, like what he was wearing or anything like that?
No, honey, I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Like I said, I realize you see a lot of people and everything.
Yeah, it's just that, I know, when you see that, when I saw the guy, on the TV, I was like, I know I recognize this guy. And because, you see him in your cab, and, I wasn't for sure, now that you bring up that date, and it's like, okay, that's the date.
Yeah.
So, because the other guy kind of looked like him too, and it's like, okay, well, maybe that's one, and I know that doesn't help you guys, but so that's the only thing I could think of that I remember about this dude.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well, thank you very much.
Well, if you need anything else, I'm sorry.
That's okay. If I need anything, I'll definitely give you a call back. That's all right.
I'm glad you found that on there,
Yeah.
Like I said, usually I take pictures of the whole slip, and I know the reason why I didn't is because it probably has a back to it, and it was a long slip, and I just took the front of the envelope, so I knew how much I had made that day, and
right,
and that way I have it for my taxes.
Right.
So, all right.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank
all
you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye.
Sherri, Messer,
And how do you spell Sherri?
SHE.
Ma'am, what is your current occupation?
I am a yellow cab driver, independent contractor.
What does that mean to be a yellow cab driver but independent contractor?
I own a yellow cab.
And how long have you been driving for yellow cabs?
I believe I've been driving since April of 2013.
Ma'am, back in June of 2015, were you driving for yellow cab?
Yes, sir.
And do you remember the Greene County Sheriff's Office at some point coming to talk to you?
Yes, sir.
And was that about a ride that you had given in the early morning hours of June 10th, 2015?
Yes, sir.
And was that did you pick that individual up at the Days Inn?
Yes, sir.
Can you describe what you remember about picking up that individual at the Days Inn?
Was dispatched to the Days Inn on North Flintstone to pick up a gentleman. Picked him up. Got my cab. I was to take him to off of Volunteer Way.
And do you keep logs of after each shift
Yes, we keep very detailed logs, trip sheets.
And I know that this was some time ago, you've probably given a few rides since 2015. Would it be helpful for you to have a chance to take a look at your log?
Absolutely.
Can I approach Sean, please? Hand this to you. I know it's kind of small, if you recognize that.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
That's a trip sheet.
What is a trip sheet?
It's basically a log, a daily log of all of our calls, and each individual line is each trip that we make. It starts off with the time we pick up, the pickup address, and then the destination that we go to, and then the drop-off time, and also the amount of the trip.
Now, on that, again, early morning of June 10th, what time were you dispatched to the Days Inn?
I was, I don't know exact time that I was dispatched. Time to pick up was 8:57.
And you mentioned a address on Volunteer Way. After looking at your log, does that refresh your memory on what the address was?
Yes, it would be 2103 West Volunteer Way.
And when you got to the Days Inn, did you pick up one person or more than one person?
Just one person.
And do you recall what you remember about him?
It was just white male.
If I could approach.
Yes.
Does that actually say 157?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you said 8.
No, 157.
Okay, that's all right. And that would be 1:57 a.m.
Yes, 1:57 a.m.
Now, when you picked up the individual from the Days Inn, about how long of a drive is that from Days Inn to that address on Volunteer Way?
Near there. It's about, I'd say, a little under 10 minutes, because you take the highway, you would take the Highway 44, and you get off on from Glenstone to North Kansas Avenue. It's a little under 10 minutes.
During the drive, do you recall the passenger saying anything or doing anything?
I do. You know, anybody. I'm very talkative, with my passengers a lot of times, especially people I pick up at the airport or pick up at a hotel room. Normally I say, what brings you to Spring Patch, Springfield. And this gentleman, hey, I'm from Wisconsin. He said he was here to meet his girlfriend. That's pretty much, just small talk.
And then as you were approaching the address at 2103 West Volunteer Way, do you remember him saying anything else or doing anything else?
When I got there, he asked me to wait just a few seconds. He was on his cell phone. He was texting he said he was texting his girlfriend to see where he was supposed to, what door he was supposed to go to. It says something like that.
And if it's 1:57, fair to say it's pretty dark out?
Correct.
Okay. And when you got to the address, did you park on the street, driveway, or something different?
I was on the street.
And eventually, did the gentleman get out of the cab?
Yes.
Did you make any observations about what he did once he got out of your cab?
What I saw is he got out of the cab and he went to the right of the home, right rear of the home.
And was there anything odd about what you saw that kind of stuck out in your mind?
Just, he didn't go to the front door, he went to the rear of the home. That's the only thing.
And after refreshing your memory on your log, about what time was it that you dropped him off?
The drop-off time was 2:06 a.m.
I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
Any cross-examination?
Yes, sir. Mr. Messer, I just have a few questions. You made a pickup and drove someone from the Days Inn to a house on Volunteer. Is that correct?
Yes.
Volunteer Way.
Yes.
Have you had a chance to talk to our prosecutor and kind of prepare for your testimony today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're refreshed, your memory with the reports and everything.
Yes, sir.
And you told us that the person you picked up said, "Hey, I'm from Wisconsin." Correct?
Yes, sir.
I'm here for my girlfriend.
Yes, sir.
And you also told the officer that he had a strong accent, correct?
I remember I did say that in my initial report, that he did kind of have an accent. Yes.
Was it a Wisconsin accent?
I don't know what a Wisconsin accent sounds like.
But he talked it.
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Is there any objection to this witness being released?
No.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, this is Miss Messer's testimony, sworn testimony in 2018 for Nicholas's trial. And I just, first of all, wouldn't the prosecution hammer home a little harder that he had a Wisconsin accent and that she said this and that he said he was from Wisconsin and all of that? No, the prosecution doesn't even say that. They don't care. They just want to know, oh, you dropped him off here, you did this, okay, blah, 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 that's it, blah, blah, blah. So then it's Nicholas's defense attorney's time. And, you know, if you thought that the attorney was going to do a good job, he starts to fool you. And then he does nothing. And I just don't get it. Like, if this was me, there are a whole heap of questions I would have had for Miss Messer on the stand. Inserted herself in this case, talking about a totally different date with the same details. I would have asked why she could recall everything about the conversation and the ride that she gave on the 14th, but nothing about the call on the ride on the 10th. And I would have questioned her on her two different versions of the story. And I would have absolutely hammered home that you said he had a strong accent. You said that you knew what that accent was. You said it was a Wisconsin accent. Did you not? You even had to have the officer spell you accent so that you could put it in to your report. And through all of your calls, you were very consistent that you knew it was an accent, you knew it was a Wisconsin accent, and you recognized it. But now you're on the stand and you're going to tell them, well, you don't know what a Wisconsin accent sounds like. Really? And you're going to pretend like you knew everything that happened on the 9th, except that when you were interviewed, you didn't remember jack shit until they told you what you should remember. Correct? Is that it? Is that what Nick's defense attorneys were trying to drive home poorly? Poorly. No? Okay. So this has just been a look for me. I found this yesterday. I had not heard anybody talking about it, and I really just felt that this was something that was huge because we now have information from members of the community that this took place as a party and that there were several people there. And in the crime scene photos, it indicates that a party was going on. There are sodas everywhere, all different kinds of sodas. There are blue Solo cups in the kitchen in a sleeve. There are blue Solo cups all over the house in garbages. There's a blue Solo cup in the actual bathroom that looks cleaner than anywhere else in the house. We have a very, very conflicting story. Again, this is about the 6th different story that I've heard from Mr. David Blanchard about what went down that night that they came and they discovered the bodies and all of that. Okay. We've got all of that. We've got so much information coming out, but this one really just hit me because who is this man on the 13th that looks exactly like Nicholas Godejohn going to the house right before Gypsy makes her famous post letting everybody know? And by the way, the whole sex like bunnies and all of that, well, good Lord, they only were there one day. She tried to say she was in town for several days. No, they didn't arrive into Wisconsin until the 13th. And by the 14th in the mid-afternoon, she's making this post. We do know that Dan contacted her, asked her if she had gotten there safely. She tries to tell the officer, Stan, that she is not in contact with this man that is in her phone, even though she had gotten a message from him and she hadn't talked to him in a long time. And yeah, none of that's true. Okay? There's a lot going on. And so we're going to be breaking down pieces of the evidence like this over and over again for you guys so you can kind of start to piece together things that we've known for a long time. These were all things that we suspected. However, I didn't know about the second cab ride with another individual who was, in my opinion, allegedly for entertainment and educational purposes only, pretending to be Nick. And this is the call that she's supposed to make. It's also suspicious to me that she tells everybody that she thinks this is going to be a big case and lots of things are going to come out. And now on the stand, her demeanor about this whole thing, her information has all changed. So just saying, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, perhaps it's a duck. And in this situation, it's a whole flock of them. So think about this. Drop some comments down in below. Let us know what you think. What did this say to you? What did these interviews give you? And how do you feel about this cab driver and what happened on that second delivery of a person to Volunteer Way? So that is pretty much all of that. I do have one more little caveat for you that I'm going to take the time to disprove right now. So this whole 45 minutes of Nicholas being in the cab while Gypsy is in the house, this did not happen. Okay? This did not happen. And the person who started this rumor is Natasha Cooper. And maybe she was having her problems with her fake brain tumor and her fake brain surgery at the time, and that's why she said it. Maybe she had, a brain fart. I'm not quite sure. I don't know how fake brain surgeries and fake brain tumors work, but anyway, that was what was going on back then, which prompted Jasmine to come after me last year and pretend to be Christy's fake PR. But that's a story for another day. But that 45-minute timeline of him sitting out there and her doing whatever, it didn't happen. And here's the proof.
Come on up, sir. Just right over here. I have to swear you in, so just grab a seat. I'll swear you in after you have a seat. Okay. Raise your right hand. Solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give and the cause now pending before the court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. Thank you. Keep your voice up, okay? Okay. All righty.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
Can you please state your name?
John Harmon.
Mr. Harmon, how are you currently employed?
In the Springfield Yellow Cab.
And are you also an independent contractor?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you driven for Yellow Cab?
been there approximately 17 years.
Sir, going back to June of 2015, were you driving for Yellow Cab then?
Yes.
And at some point, you recall the Greene County Sheriff's Office contacting you about a ride you had given in the early morning hours of June 10th, 2015?
Yes.
And when you're driving, do you also keep logs of your different cab fares?
Yes, we keep trip sheets.
And given that this was some time ago, would it be helpful for you to refresh your memory if you had a copy of that to see?
Yes, yeah, I think, yeah.
It couldn't hurt, could it?
Well, yeah, it hard.
Can I approach it?
Yes.
And according to that log, you made a pickup at 2103 West Volunteer Way, is that right?
Yes.
And about what time was it that you went to that residence?
I think it's about 5:48 in the morning, 5:48 a.m. Because we write down our time just as soon as we get there.
All right. And when you got there, did you park in the street, pull in the driveway, or something different?
I pulled into the driveway.
And eventually, did one or more people come out?
There was 2 people.
Okay. And what do you remember about those 2 people physically?
Male and a female. And he was wearing, I believe, blue jeans and a white t-shirt. She was wearing like a skirt. And I can't remember exactly what color shirt. It looked like she possibly had a wig on.
Okay. And when they got in the cab,
To the Days Inn there on North Kentwood.
and is there anything that is noteworthy or that you remember about your drive there?
Not really, it was pretty quiet.
And then when you got to the Days Inn, did they pay you and then go on their way?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And about what time was it that you dropped them back off at the Days Inn?
And I dropped him off at 5:55 a.m.
And that was on June 10th?
Yes, sir.
No other questions, Your Honor.
Anything with this with me?
Yes, Your Honor. You picked up a male and female,
Yes, sir.
Days Inn,
No. I picked him up 2103 West Volunteer Way.
and took them to Days Inn.
Yes.
And they paid you
Yes.
$20 bill?
Yep.
Who paid you?
I believe it was her, the female.
The female, she had the money?
Yep.
No further questions.
Thank you. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Bring this witness to excuse.
On behalf of the state.
Mr. Reedy?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good.
So he didn't seem to have a problem really remembering what he did. The attorney did. He couldn't even get the fact straight that he picked him up at the house and took them to the Days Inn. He's like, well, you picked him up at the Days Inn? No, I picked them up at the house and took them to the Days Inn. And he said that it was very unremarkable right over there, really quiet. Nobody really said anything. He didn't have any big deal about a Wisconsin accent. He didn't talk about how Gypsy looked like a freakishly weird girl who, looked like she was 12 or any of that. That's what the cab driver in Wisconsin said, and I do believe her, 100%. But this guy has no problem telling you he pulled into the driveway, he didn't pull up onto the thing, he knew exactly what time, he knew exactly what he did, and did we catch that? The call went out he picked them up at 5:48 in the morning, and he dropped them off at 5:55. So I don't know if there seems to be some mathing that goes on over there in that realm of people, and they don't seem to really understand the whole mathing. I'm pretty sure that 5:48 to 5:55 is approximately 7 minutes, not 45. So there's that. There's a story there. Just might not be the one you've been told. Alrighty, guys. Well, that's all I have for you tonight. We will be going over probably today or tomorrow David Blanchard's interview. Make sure you check out the live stream where we covered Kay Hughes, one of the first responders and jail guard at Greene County with Gypsy on the other day. So make sure you check that out. We covered it. I went over the supplemental reports. We did a lot in that video, and I will be putting those out in little pieces as well. We're working as fast as we can, guys. I hope that this is helping you put together the pieces of a very, very, very corrupt and very huge case. This is not just about a girl who met a boy who decided to murder her mama for dick. That's the core. That's kind of the core, but there's a whole big world out there of other things going on. Just remember, Sheriff Arnett said it best. Things are not always as they appear. Have a good one from the Good Wives, serving up true crime, one dish at a time. Bye, guys. Mwah.